Okay, this is what's great. Now you may not experience this right away, but I tell you this works. You should feel a tiny bit of relief almost, okay, or control, relaxation, and focus by doing this simple act. It has been proven that psychologically, if you organize your stuff and you put action steps in place, you will lead a much more relaxed and stress-free life. The simple act of writing it down will be a tremendous feeling of relief. I can't put it in the words. You have to do this at least once, okay? And I experience this every week of my life, because the last thing I do before the weekend starts, most weekends, is Friday evening. I will spend about an hour organizing my actions for the next week, and I can totally turn off my professional life and totally dedicate it to my family for the rest of the weekend, because I don't have stuff on my mind anymore. Because I know that if it's something that's due the following week, I've scheduled it, and I know that I'm going to be able to do that. It's a tremendously feeling of relief and control that you get by simply doing this. I can't emphasize this enough. You have to try this. All right? It's an amazing feeling. You will actually feel more motivated during the day and during your week or month or whatever. And then just from this act that we just did, just think about, this feeling of relief multiplied 1,000 times, because that's really what it is. All right? It's a tremendous feeling that you've got to experience. And what you experience is really the act of thinking. That's all you're doing. All right? You're thinking about what's going on in your life and your surroundings. And that's what we're doing. Now, the problem with this is you might think, well, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time thinking about stuff, right? Well, actually, what you're going to find out is you're going to take some time to think about stuff, but it's actually going to be a lot less time than you think it's going to take. All right? It's really amazing what you can do. Next slide. One of the books I refer to is called The Power of Full Engagement. I'd highly recommend that you read this. I love this book. Managing energy, not time, is the key to high performance. Okay? If you can manage your energy level during the day, during the week, you'll be surprised how much more that you can do. I remember, 10 years ago when I was a department head, before I knew about this stuff, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd literally lay my head down on the desk I was working at, because I was exhausted by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? It was a very stressful job in some ways, because we're making lots of curriculum changes. All right, we were growing the program. We had more students. We had seats in the classrooms. The computers weren't working. And I could go on forever telling you about all the things that were going on. And it just wore me out. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I should have just left, okay, because I was pretty useless. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate. I used to have a sign on my desk that pointed inward with big letters that said focus. Because every time someone came in after 3 o'clock, I'd have to look at that and remind myself, focus, focus. I don't have that problem anymore. You might see me, I don't know how many of you experienced this, but it looks like I'm always eating. I'm pretty thin. If I turn sideways, I probably disappear. Well, right? I mean, I'm munching on something, because that's part of what they talk about in Power of Full Engagement. You want to keep your blood sugar level even during the whole day. By the way, you don't do that by eating Snicker bars, but there's other ways of doing it. It's a little more healthy. The whole idea here is you must become a corporate athlete. I love this analogy, because remember I said I used to coach, all right? So I know what it's like to be around athletes. I've coached athletes that went on to play All-American in college. He actually became an All-American lineman for the Washington Redskins, won a Super Bowl ring. I've been around tremendous athletes, okay? So I know what it's like. I've experienced it. I used to go and run with my track and cross-country team, okay? And I really resonate. So this may not resonate with you quite as much, but get past that, okay? And just read about the substance in this book. But it's drawing on 4 separate but related sources of energy: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Those are the 4 sources of energy in your life. If you pay attention to those 4, you will have almost unlimited energy to fulfill all your actions and to get your desired outcomes. Holy Grail number 2, okay? This is important, all right? So you want to manage your energy. I love this. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by conscious endeavor. That's what it's all about. You're going to become conscious about every minute in your day to a certain extent. Not you're going to be looking at your watch, but you know what you're going to do kind of next. You're going to have this feeling of living in the zone, and you're going to do it because it's going to be a conscious effort. Now, there's some things written by Stephen Covey, another book that The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Managing. And this book and series of books, I'd highly recommend that you read it. He talks about habits. There's 7 habits, I believe. Habit number 1 is be proactive. I'm going to run through these kind of quickly. But what's important here is that you have to be proactive. You're responsible for your own life, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about this. But right down here, this is cool. This is one of these little factual things. Habits, it takes about 21 days to break or build a new habit. That's all it takes, all right? Now, I know there's mitigating factors. If you're a smoker, there's nicotine, and that's, messing with your brain chemicals. But, most of the time, that's not the case, all right? If you wake up at 8 a.m. every morning and you decide that you want to start waking up at 5 a.m. every morning because you want to do different things, it's really only going to take about 21 days. Set the alarm, for the first 21 days, and what happens is your body clock changes. I get up at the same time every morning, which is about 5 a.m. I never set an alarm. I don't need it. My clock is working. It's set on that time. All right? And when I need to change it, it takes about 21 days. We just went through a time change right now, right? We moved back 1 hour, and my clock got a little messed up, but I'm getting there. All right? 21 days, that's all it takes. You want to get good at this? Commit to doing what I suggest for the next 21 days. That's all I ask. Okay? And I talked about this a little bit. We are responsible for our own lives. Behavior is based on values, not feelings. I know feelings is important. There's a place for them, but your overall behavior should be based on values. Reactive people are driven by feelings. Between the stimulus and response, you have the option to make a choice. Okay? I love what Eleanor Roosevelt said. No one can hurt you without your consent. It's all about your emotions, right? I mean, if I say, and I won't look at anyone when I say this, I say to you, you're a lousy student, it's like, who am I to say? Yeah, I might be a professor and I might control your grade, but do I really know you that well? When it comes right down to it, you know yourself better than I do. Why would you take what I say that seriously? I would hope I'd never say that, but that's a different matter.